Okay, we finally reached the Plague. And the Plague does have many common attributes with the average killer. She has the normal lunge, the normal movement speed, the normal terror radius. So she's a bit of a basic killer in that regard. However, I do not recommend that you start your killer journey playing the Plague or transition to her thinking that she'll be easy to pick up. Her power is very complex. Her speed changes a lot when you hold, charge, release your power. And there are so many different little factors that go into using it that she's actually, in my opinion, very, very complicated. She's also one of the tallest killers in the game, especially with her taller crowns. So if you try to play her like a normal killer, you're going to suffer a lot. Also, her power, if used incorrectly, can prolong chases for too long, and also allows survivors to heal up very quickly when you're not applying the right amounts of pressure. So for that reason, I don't think she's extremely beginner friendly. I did make a guide for the Plague that I think outlines almost everything perfectly. I'll try to condense the most important information right now. That being said, if you are a beginner, her perks are incredibly good. So you have a massive advantage going for you. All of her perks are really, really good. Infectious is very fine on her. Corrupt is one of the best killer perks in the game on basically any killer. Dark Devotion is a bit of a cute perk. And as for your fourth perk, honestly, you could do whatever you wanted. You could bring Noid, you could bring Bitter Murmur. Don't bring Sloppy Butcher because they cannot really heal. You almost cannot go wrong. I think I'll be bringing Bitter Murmur. For the add-ons, he also has a lot of really decent add-ons with only one or two that are a bit strange that you should perhaps avoid. In my opinion, the cooldown add-ons, the Ointment, the Tincture, and the Healing Salve, the cooldown add-ons are always a good idea. Use them on and off to get an idea of how she plays. And the Apple add-ons are also a great idea. The more Apple add-ons you bring, the more default fountains you'll be able to bring and use your secondary power. So, a word about the Plague's power. The Plague has the same power in two different versions. By default, she has a green puke called the Vile Perch. You charge it up, you release, and you puke on your environment. If you hit an object, such as anything survivors can interact with, windows, pallets, lockers, generators, you will infect it. And it will remain infected for about 35 seconds by default. And it will infect any survivor that touches it. Or you can also just puke on the survivor directly, and you will infect them. If you land a lot of puke, the infection will grow very quickly. If not, they'll just be infected a little bit and gain infection over time as they do things. When survivors are infected, they begin to cough, and they have this green particle effect on them that makes them easier to track. Yes, you can infect many things, including totems, items on the ground, breakable walls, that's right. Yeah, as I said, they become infected, they're easier to track because they cough, and they are stinky. If they are infected for a very long time, they will become fully infected, and then they will be injured permanently. They will be broken, and they will not be able to heal or heal themselves in any single way, and that's really, really bad. So survivors, ideally, don't want to be broken for very long because it's very risky for them. However, there's a catch. There are 6 by default. Actually, it's always 6. There are 6 fountains spread around the map. And these fountains, the survivors can spend 6 seconds on each and drink up from the purifying water, and then they'll immediately revert to healthy, which is obviously really bad because you spent a lot of time infecting them, and now they immediately heal back up. But what's the catch to this? When they do that, the fountain that they drink from turns from clear to red. And if you drink from this fountain, you will acquire your secondary power, not the Vile Purge, the Corrupt Purge, aka the Red Puke. The Red Puke has the exact same properties as the Green Puke. The same speed, the same charge, the same basically everything. But on contact, this Red Puke actually damages. And it can hit through survivors, and it can hit multiple survivors, and the cooldown is rather short, especially with cooldown add-ons. So you can very, very quickly shred through many health states and hit over obstacles because you're very tall. So it's a very powerful power, perhaps one of the strongest powers in the game. But it lasts for only a little while. When you drink out from a fountain, by default, it's only 1 minute. You need to be a bit careful because if you get pallet stunned, the power disappears. Any other stun doesn't do that, but if you get pallet stunned, they'll knock out the power out of you. So you want to avoid pallet stun, being pallet stunned while you're using your power, and we'll teach you a little bit on how to do that. When you down someone within your terror radius, people will scream with Infectious Fright. The furthest generators will be corrupted and blocked for 2 minutes. Awesome. Dark Devotion is a stealth perk. When you hit your obsession, they will carry your terror radius, more or less. And this can confuse them quite a bit. And with Bitter Murmur, we'll just have a little bit of information. So, I'll tell you right now, there are 2 ways you can try to fully infect survivors. You can try to to puke on them a lot to fully infect them yourself. And this can work out if the survivors are stupid and they stand still, or if they're very busy doing some action in front of you. But typically survivors will put up a lot of resistance and they will move side to side, they'll loop tight, they will not let you do that. If you want to infect survivors yourself, use the infection add-ons. I'll show you what they are in just a second. If you use those add-ons, that is not a bad idea. If you use the Vial Emetic and the Infected Emetic, and to a lesser degree the Emetic Potion, especially these 2, if you use any or both, then fully infecting survivors is a pretty good idea. If you don't have these add-ons on, fully infecting survivors is very difficult. So what I recommend is that you play the Plague a bit like you would play Legion. Try to go for the whole team. Infect multiple people, and then just let the passive infection do the job for you. And then when everybody's injured, they will be easy prey, and your power will be very, very powerful. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Let's go into this match. Oh yeah, let's spend a few points, I suppose. Is the thing over? No, the thing's still ongoing, guys. Hi, everybody. Do you think survivors should try to avoid cleansing as long as they can? That is a great question. If survivors cleanse too often, yes, they turn healthy, but they give you an incredibly strong power. They need to be very careful. If they give it to you too often or too easily, you will probably destroy them. So the survivors, what they should try to do is stay injured for as long as it's safe. And when they're in a great danger, they're about to die, or they really, really need to, or by the end of the game where you cannot really have the time, then they should try to cleanse far away from you when the gens are already done, so that you waste a lot of time if you go and pick it up. So your strategy is going to constantly look at where your pools are, all 6 of them, and see if you can pick up your power to do a lot of damage. There's always 6 pools, and one of them, by default, already starts red. So your first order of business when you load into the match is to look at where that red fountain already is, and see if you are going to use it soon or a bit later. If it's in a really bad spot, you can try to push a survivor there later, or you might want to grab it early. There's a lot of decision making, and it's always a little bit up to you to decide if you want to try or not. When you drink out from a fountain, you do a lot of noise. They hear a loud cue, so everybody's going to be on guard, and they might start hiding, and they might start running away from you. So you have to weigh in your options and see whether or not it's worth it to drink from a fountain now. So, we have a really large map. This is going to be a bit tricky. There is the one infected fountain. It's not in a terrible spot. It's not in some weird corner. And because I have an apple, I actually have 2 infected fountains immediately. They're in good spots. I'm going to leave them as they are, and I'm just going to look around for survivors. I just saw someone go into the chat. Let's go. I'm going to puke on the... Because I have cool... Oh, there's 2 of them. I'm gonna puke on the window and the pallet. And if they use them, they get infected. Okay. Okay, that's still infected. Now for David. We got him. Sometimes there's like fake hits. Alright. I don't have anything to make him full infected, but... Seems like he's... messing around a bit. I might try it actually. Yeah, that's full infected. I could break this. Hold up. I think he's messing around. Yeah, heal that hard to the pallet. But it seems like he's a console player and that hard doesn't work. I'm so sorry. His dead hard was a little bit shorter than it should have been. He would have made that no problem. they need to start equipping other perks. Jill cleansed, by the way, so now we have 3 fountains. I'll drink from one of them. You can also infect generators, but I bet you already know that. Or you already figured it out. I'm gonna drink from this, although it's a bit risky because I'm not onto someone immediately. You can hit through people on hooks if they are rescuing. I might demonstrate that later. You can also infect people on the ground, infect people on hooks. So don't be shy if you haven't infected them already. Survivors. Wow, they run quick, did they? Okay, that's David? No, it's not. It's the Dwight that touched David and thus he's infected. Because it carries over. That was almost a hit. Very well. I only have 15 seconds left. Now, he stunned me with a pallet and I lost my power, but I already had puked. So I lost my power, but that's okay. Because he's injured now. I'm gonna infect that generator if they want to touch it. Let them. And ideally, you want to keep many people infected. And if you're not infecting them, it should be because you're using your red puke a lot. He's my obsession, and I lost my terror radius. Ooh, I could try to go back and do something dirty. But that's alright. I think what I'm gonna do is I have 15 seconds of no terror radius. My terror radius is on him. So I'm gonna drink from that and see if I can catch him off guard a bit. Let's go. You emit some really loud red particles. And really, really visible ones too. Okay, seems like whoever finished that is just being shy. I'm gonna try to catch him off guard a bit. They might just try to hide the whole duration. 30 seconds down the drain and we haven't found anybody. Oh, there you are. So that's an easy hit. And with cooldown, you recover super fast and you can do M2 into M1 or M2 into M2. I don't know what she was thinking. These whispers mean that you are in your red power. Yes. They're a bit loud, which is annoying, but as long as you have the whispers, they hear them too. That means you have your power. They'll end in a second. Alright, so I know where David is, because I could see him with Bitter Murmur. Wow, they finished that. Hi David, what's up, cutie? Whispers ended. I'm gonna infect him a little bit and M1. That's much faster than just waiting for the infection to happen naturally. It can take like 50 seconds otherwise. Oh my god. Hey, that Dergar was pretty good. They're starting to cleanse a lot. Do I catch him before the... Yeah. Right, we hook him and we drink up because they're starting to heal. This is such a large map. It's actually a very, very difficult one for Plague. Because it means that anytime you pick up one fountain, they're always really spread out. It's a bit unlucky, but we can still do a lot of damage. If he was not infected, I could infect him now. But I think we'll be fine. Let's have a look at the gems we can defend. Oh! Oh, what are you doing? Okay. I hold my puke. You can hold it for longer and you'll puke more. I am very upset about that, but you do have a very slow projectile speed. Oh, she didn't go for the window. You move at 110 when you hold it like this. I don't think I'm gonna hit her. Okay, we got her. This Meg is a strange cookie. Oh, somebody screamed. Hey, what's up? I'm just a bit late for that. No. Don't think it's happening. That's a big shame. She's down there. I can't get to her. She played that well. Shame. We maybe needed to break that wall. So where did I down this girl? Right. What are the fountains we have? on such horrible edges. They're both going right, okay. Did I hit the generator? I did. This one here is very powerful though. I think I'll do it now. If they were trying to rescue right now, you can hit it right through the person on the hook and hit the unhooker and interrupt them. So don't forget that, that's important. A plague is really, really scary when you are trying to be altruistic. No one's touched this because no one's infected. I don't want to make this easy for you guys, so please make a move. She dead hard, they're out of the way. That was terrible. She dead hard also! This doesn't go through that. Okay, buddy. I got her. Okay. You need to be a bit creative with angles like that. You can definitely get away with it. And I didn't pay enough attention to the final survivor to know which gate he's maybe eyeing. He might be playing altruistic and going for his teammates. If he touches the oh, there he is. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm starting to feel a bit robbed here. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Fair perk? No, that's fine, that's fine. You just have to assume that everybody's gonna be running the same fur perks. And that's, you know, the state of this game at times. I'm actually not gonna hear this woman with these loud whispers. But the game pawned? Yeah, my bad, my bad. Good for them, though. Now, where did I down that girl? It wasn't that building. Go and find her, if you can. Oh, she might have a hatch. It's gonna take a long time if we have to wait the 2 minutes for her to bleed out. Let's see if we find her near the exit. Well, let's hope it doesn't take long. We down her right over here. No clue. Is that a good perk on Plague? It's not bad because people are injured often, but I don't think it's the best one. Oh, I think I just saw a bird fly up. Hi, lovely. Okay. Good luck. What was toxic? Nobody was toxic. They just, you know, they were happy to escape, so they made sure to give us some clicks of happiness and victory at the end. We don't take it personally. Hopefully. If you're broken, you can get the speed boost from adrenaline, but you will not heal. So it's possible that this mech had adrenaline. Actually, no, she used that hard right away. Yeah, everybody had that hard. So, they were fine. GG, killer. Thank you. See, when someone's broken, they also cannot use a medkit, so we might have countered this medkit a little bit, which is kind of nice. What we didn't counter so much were the 4 dead hards every now and then. But that's alright. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how to play Plague. It's a constant juggle of keep them infected, and they're easy prey, so they have to cleanse, and then drink from it, and then try to snowball, create more and more pressure, and keep them down. You are very good at unhooking. If I had not M1 the Dwight and gone for an additional puke, I think we might have come out of that situation a little bit better. So keep that in mind. As long as you can use your power, it's pretty strong. Another thing that you can do, if you know they're gonna dead hard, is hold your puke a little bit longer, and then even dead hard, you know, will not be good enough because you'll have more and more particles to hit them. By all means, do check out the plague guide that I put out some time ago. That's still pretty much perfectly up to date to know more about the add-ons and more about the intricacies of her power and how you should try to infect survivors. Okay, that's fun. What are your thoughts on survivors? I am fucking sick of saying the same fucking shit every day. On the one side, I don't want to be a pope and tell you what you should and shouldn't do. And on the other hand, if a perk is unfun, you know, what am I gonna say? Hi, Tomahawks, welcome. And it doesn't matter. Oh, what are your thoughts on Noir? Oh, well, I don't think it's so fun because people sometimes face camp with it and it's not really deserved. Oh, but Odds, you don't understand. Like, sometimes you play against an EA with a purple flashlight and 2 Cloud Edge with map buffering, and one of them is named Peter, and sometimes they are toxic, and then you need Noir. Don't you understand, Odds? If you already feel one way, why do you bother asking me then? Yeah, so... Yeah, I have a feeling it always devolves to that. So, like, I think honestly, if we sit down and strip all the stupid things and we focus on the basics, I think we will all agree on the same basic notions. So, what's the point?